My neighbor's 17-year-old son poisoned my rescue dog with antifreeze, and when his parents threatened to sue Emmy for defamation, I made sure the entire neighborhood knew exactly what their precious boy did. I rescued Luna 3 years ago, pant a beautiful husky mix who was severely abused by her previous owners. It took months of patience and specialized training before she stopped flinching whenever someone raised their hand. She finally became the sweet, trusting dog she was meant to be. The Millers moved in next door last summer. They seemed normal at first, parents and their teenage son Tyler. I baked them welcome cookies and invited them to our neighborhood bee. Everything was fine until Tyler started tormenting Luna. Whenever she was in our fenced backyard, I caught him throwing small rocks at her twice and spraying her with a hose once each time I spoke directly with his parents, who dismissed it as boys being boys and promised to talk to him. 2 weeks ago, I came home from work and found Luna lethargic, stumbling and vomiting. I rushed her to the emergency vet, where they diagnosed antifreeze poisoning. The vet said she must have ingested it within the previous 2 hours, exactly when I was at work, and Luna was in our fenced backyard. Luna survived, but barely. She spent 4 days in the animal hospital and needed intensive treatment that cost over $3,000. When she finally came home, she was weak and still needed medication every few hours. I installed security cameras the next day. 2 days later, the footage caught Tyler tossing something over our fence into Luna's water bowl. I immediately called the police and showed them the footage. They questioned Tyler, who eventually admitted he'd been mixing antifreeze with dog treats because Luna's barking annoyed him when he was trying to game online. The police filed animal cruelty charges, but since Tyler is a juvenile with no prior record, he was assigned community service and mandatory counseling. His parents hired an expensive lawyer who got the charges reduced to a misdemeanor when I posted about the incident in our neighborhood Facebook group to warn other pet owners. Tyler's mother showed up at my door screaming that I was ruining her son's reputation, and it wasn't that serious since the dog didn't die. She threatened to sue me for defamation if I didn't delete the post. I deleted it and then created flyers with Tyler's image from my security footage, the vet's diagnosis of antifreeze poisoning, and a warning to all pet owners in the area. I distributed them to every house within a 3-block radius. The Millers woke up the next morning to find their yard covered in dog toys, each with a note from different neighbors expressing their disgust. 3 families with dogs moved their children to different bus stops so they wouldn't have to wait with Tyler. The neighborhood kids uninvited him from a birthday party. Even their own relatives who lived nearby stopped visiting them. Yesterday, Tyler's dad confronted me while I was walking Luna, who has thankfully made a full recovery. He said, "They're moving at the end of the month because I turned the whole neighborhood against an innocent kid who made one mistake." I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Your son deliberately poisoned the rescue dog who had already suffered years of abuse. That's not a mistake, Parn. That's a deliberate choice to cause suffering maybe in your new neighborhood. You can teach him that actions have consequences." They're moving out next week. Luna and I will be hosting a neighborhood safety celebration once they're gone.